PSG are willing to smash Arsenal's transfer record sale. Now, do I believe this can happen? We're going to get into that, but there's actually some valid reasons as to why this deal can happen, like real reasons. We're going to get into them, but there's also concrete interest from Bayern Munich for Alexander Zinchenko. Let me know your thoughts on both of these deals. Do you think they can happen? Of course, I'm going to let you know my opinion, but before I do me a favour, and if you enjoy this kind of content, give me a thumbs up on this video. It helps the channel massively. So do I think PSG can buy Saka? I mean, they can afford him. We've seen them splash big money before. We saw how much they brought Neymar in for. He cost like over 200 million euros. And there is a price being quoted of how much PSG are willing to pay, but I don't think it's nowhere near the price that we can accept for Saka. I mean, I wouldn't sell him at any price, but the price being quoted is about 120 million pounds. Now, that don't seem too much to me, but in this article, it was saying this might be an offer that Arsenal can't refuse. But I mean, let's examine that because it's not that much money. We heard recently that Arsenal rejected a bid of 170 million euros for Gabriel, our centre-back, and that was an offer from Saudi Arabia. So do we think Arsenal would accept 120 million for PSG? No. Do PSG have the ability to go even higher? Yes. And that's when we're left with a question, you know, how much money is too much money? Like, what price do we get to before we actually have to really consider this as a viable option? You know, like I said, I wouldn't sell Saka for any money. But if they start offering 200, 250 million, do Arsenal have to start looking at that and thinking in terms of FFP reasons, you know, and in terms of balancing the books and then spending that money on a different player? And we know if they buy a new player for 120, 150 million, they can spread that cost over 5 years. So in terms of FFP, that would help them massively. But let me know your thoughts. Do you honestly believe PSG will even offer for Saka? And if you do you believe Saka would go? Because say if PSG do pay 150 million pounds for Saka, what other options do we have there in terms of a real world-class replacement? Because Saka's world-class. He's top 2 in his position. So it doesn't matter, in my opinion, what other option you go for, because the other option isn't going to be as good as Saka. You know, Mo Salah's the best right winger in the world, and then after that is Saka. So no matter who you get, and I like Kvara, but he's still going to be a downgrade on Saka. He's not as good a player as Bakayo Saka. And say if PSG come in with an offer and Arsenal was like, right, listen, we can't refuse that offer. They still have to get Saka to agree to it. Saka was raised in the academy. Saka's come through every single stage in his Arsenal journey. So will he be willing to just throw that away because PSG have come in with a good offer? Now, they could offer him ridiculous wages. We've seen the kind of wages that Mbappe's on. And if PSG come to Saka and say, listen, we know you don't want to leave Arsenal, but we can offer you 700 grand a week. Will Saka ever look at that and think, guys, I love being here, but I need to go for 700 grand a week? Now, if there's any player in world football that I think don't care about the money, it's probably Bakayo Saka. But I think everybody has their price, and there probably will come a point in time where you do get an offer you can't refuse. Now, luckily, like I said, I don't think this deal is going to happen. But this is a valid talking point. There's literal stories out there saying PSG are willing to smash the record in terms of an Arsenal transfer sale and go and get the man they want. We know they're going to be losing Mbappe. And if you lose Mbappe, you need to be going for a calibre of player that has the ability to go on and be the best player in the world. And Saka fits that mould. So you can understand why Saka's being linked with PSG, but there's a lot of hurdles that we need to overcome before we get Saka in a PSG shirt. And personally, I don't see it happening. I would love to know everyone else's thoughts though, so let me know in the comment section. Would you sell Saka for, let's put a figure on it, 200 million pounds? Let me know in the comment section. So the second story is a more interesting one in my opinion in terms of if it could actually happen, because Alexander Zinchenko is wanted by Bayern Munich. We know we brought Zinchenko in for 35 million pounds. The price that Arsenal have apparently set for Zinchenko is 38.5 million pounds. So they're looking to make a profit on this player. But let me know in the comment section, would you sell Zinchenko? Now, I would be open to the idea. I think Zinchenko's done a fantastic job of coming in and actually progressing Arsenal to that next level. I think without the addition of Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus, Arsenal wouldn't have been able to reach where they are in such a short space of time. Not only because of the level of player Zinchenko was, but the mentality he brought to that dressing room. Him and Jesus come from a winning environment, from the same environment that Mikel Arteta came from because he was a disciple of Pep. So these three guys all have this same mentality. And when it was brought in, you know, if there's three of you with the same mentality, it's a lot easier to spread that around the squad. And we know we didn't have it when Mikel Arteta came in. That dressing room was a mess. We heard about the fights. We heard about the disruption. So Zinchenko has helped Arsenal come a long way. But we do have so many more options in that position now. And it does sort of make you think, would I sell this player? Are we well equipped in that left-back position? We've seen Kylian come in. And in my opinion, even if Zinchenko comes back from injury now, Kylian is probably going to keep that position. I think if there's anyone that can dislodge Kylian from that position, it's probably going to be a similar kind of player, like a Tomiyasu maybe, who maybe comes in with a little bit more experience, maybe offers different things. Both solid at the back, so they can both allow Arsenal to continue to play the way we've been playing in the past few games. But I think if someone's going to come back and change that position again in terms of a left back that's going to be floating into midfield and overloading the centre of the park, then I think it needs to be a really special player. And I think there's only one guy that can do that for Arsenal, and that is Jurrien Timber. So I think at that point you probably have to look at it and say, right, so you got Timber in front of you, Kylian in front of you, Tomiyasu's probably going to be in front of you. So yeah, it is a difficult one for me because I do like Zinchenko the guy, and I do actually like Zinchenko the player at times. Now, he can be sloppy at times. He does get caught in possession. Not the quickest, not the best defensively, but we've seen what he can offer Arsenal in terms of build-up and starting attacks. But if you're asking me right now, would I sell Zinchenko for £38.5 million? My answer would probably be, honestly, yes. Let me know your thoughts. Am I being a bit harsh on Zinchenko? Like I said, I respect the guy. I like everything he's done for the club. But if an offer comes in for £38.5 million, I think you probably have to take it and then reinvest that in the squad. If we get money for Zinchenko and sell the guys that we can sell in the summer, like a Nketiah, Nelson, maybe a Smith Rowe. A lot of people don't want Smith Rowe to go, but I think these are going to be the guys that we're looking at to try and raise some funds for the summer transfer window. So if Zinchenko is one of them guys that allows us to bring money in and then spend it in different positions to strengthen the squad further up the field, I think that's probably where we need the money more. So if you can sell Zinchenko for nearly £40 million and then invest that in a better winger. We know Arsenal's priority is a striker. I've got a video coming out probably tomorrow or the next day as to why we might not need that to happen. So make sure you're subscribed for that because that is coming. But we know Arsenal are going to prioritise a striker in the summer transfer window. And the more money we can raise by selling players like Zinchenko, the better. But like I said, let me know your thoughts on everything you've heard in this video. Would you sell Zinchenko? Would you sell Saka? Do you think PSG are even going to come in and try and offer money for Saka? Let me know. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, do me a favour, just hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.